Welcome back. Why you should set bigger goals. Why you should set bigger goals. And I want to start this video by saying, if the shoe fits, in my opinion, we have been misled. Every guru, every TikTok video, and every HR manual, we hear the same story. Be realistic. Make it achievable. And I understand that these things are in place to ensure that we're not deterred from the larger goal. But what happens when you want a bigger goal? I feel like we never get the instructions to do more, only to do the minimum. And that's where in this video, I want to dive into how we can navigate that. What if you do want a bigger goal? What if just a participation award isn't satisfactory enough for you? We've been encouraged to do the bare minimum, and that the bare minimum will give us the same validation as the blue ribbon. So we get the blue ribbon when you come first. I think red was second. And then I remember in primary school, we had like orange for everyone that showed up. And I remember distinctly kids being happy to just get the physical ribbon, but the effort involved wasn't the same as to get the blue ribbon. But everyone should be as happy. And now that's good. I understand that there's some positivity to that. But the poor kid that got the blue ribbon, now everyone else has a ribbon. I don't see a world where that breeds a mentality to try harder. The way I've interpreted that is it means that if you just show up, you're worthy. Scary subject, I know. But what is try? What is more? What is it to be better or to set a bigger, better goal? But I need you to think critically in this video. I'm not here to endorse your sociopathic, narcissistic bro, goal setting, alpha, this. No. No. So don't come at me with that. I want to nurture, and I want to show you how to nurture yourself when or if you feel dissatisfied, and how you can safely move forward with a pattern and a way of thinking that will yield a positive outcome for you and those around you. That's what I want this video to be. I'm going to draw two rooms. I want you to liken a goal to a match. And then I want you to liken a bigger goal to a floodlight. What happens in the room with the floodlight is everything is exposed and there's less room to hide behind things. Whereas in your room with the match, i.e. the smaller goal, we can hide behind things. We can hide behind our habits. We can hide behind our excuses and maybe next week. And sometimes if the goal is too small and too achievable, there's no challenge. And then we don't actually go after the goal. Once you shine a light big enough, that looks like the Japanese flag, why I refer to the bigger goals. Once you shine a light big enough, it exposes the cracks. It exposes the things inside that you may not see if you light the little baby match. These cracks are our weaknesses. They're our shortcomings. And in a world where everyone and everything is perfect no matter what, and no one should change, and love yourself, and all the positive things that we hear on a daily basis, sometimes I think the world would be a better place if we were encouraged to look inside and maybe make a few changes. And I think a little internal reflection could really have a positive impact on you. Maybe those around you, but on you. The reason why I created this video is because I see this with my clients. If someone's doing 9,500 steps a day and I encourage them to do 10,000, that stretch might not be enough to encourage a change. This is individual specific, but if maybe I then set it to 12,000 and they fall short at 11,000, they're now up. They're now up. And in my book, my job is to help you be better. And I think that's better. If you can't achieve it, you recalibrate. But I think you'll surprise yourself. But here is where it gets slippery. We've been conditioned to believe that standing at the start line is worthy of a ribbon. We've been taught that if we just do enough to avoid confrontation, we're all worthy of equal reward. In that, all we've done is lower the bar to the bare minimum. We scrape in. I see it in the gym, and I use the gym as a metaphor for life because I see how people operate, how we operate in our internal lives. The bare minimum, when you go on a date, we talk about the bare minimum like it's something to be proud of. We talk about going on a little walk, like we've set the bar so low that anything is good. And we cut down anyone that tries to do better. And so sometimes when we think we're worthy of a reward because we've walked so far, it's merely because we've walked on the treadmill and we haven't actually gone anywhere. So what is to try? What is more? To try, I wholeheartedly believe it's the willingness to move forward with all efforts when the outcome is unknown. Trying as a cop-out to say, oh, I tried, I really do disagree with, and I think we should remove it from our culture. Because, oh, I tried. How many times have you heard that? I tried. Okay. But did you consciously move forward with an effort to pursue said try? I can't answer these questions. I just posed the question. What is more? More is not better. More money, more cars, more status, more is not better. We need more patience. We need more practice. We need more perseverance. More is not the physical accumulation of goods. That does not make you more. More is the skills we build in the pursuit of trying to become better that then allow us to be better. And finally, better. Better isn't about others. It's certainly not about perfection. And when I hear better, I think about improving yourself in ways that matter. I think about being honest. I think about the positive impact that you could have on yourself, your children, your friends, and those around you. I think that's better. And to tie it all together, ultimately to nurture. Allow small things to compound over time and show gratitude to your journey. Reflect on the changes. Did things get better or worse? Did I cop out? Am I unconsciously or consciously doing the bare minimum and using it as a scapegoat to say, I tried because I'm scared of failing? I tried. And I think in nurturing, getting better, you have to consciously remember that you might bring others with you, but you might also ruffle a few feathers. And it could be from those closest or those that you least expect it from. And I think there's a rude awakening because deep down we know that if we do try, if we do nurture ourselves to be better, we might have to change. We might have to do a lot of internal reflection, and that can make a lot of people around us upset. It can be triggering because not only are you now accepting your inadequacy, you're now bringing to light that you can see others and ultimately they can see themselves. And that's why we lose friends along the way. And that's why I think there's participation awards, because the kid that came last is now almost as equal, or if not equal, to the kid that came first. And so the bare minimum is now equated to doing the best. I'm just posing the question. What do you think? I think ultimately we put boundaries in place to protect ourselves so that we can have a positive impact on those around us without ultimately resenting ourselves or those around us. It's okay to be okay, but it's also okay to be better. And in my next few videos, I would like to explore getting better and what that looks like. This video might be short today, but I wanted to keep it punchy and I wanted to keep it relevant. I wanted to express something that I hold dearly. I hold a lot of things dearly, but the bare minimum should not be the standard. And in the world that we currently live in, we need to elevate it because we can be better. And I think to try without the conscious effort of the pursuit is to ultimately do ourselves a disservice. So thank you for pursuing and enduring these videos. I enjoy having a platform to be able to express how I feel and the things that I've learned along the way. So thank you again. Every time I call for Justin, I feel like I'm calling for my dad. Oh.